A poor man lived near a busy railway station. Every day, he survived by asking travelers for money whenever trains stopped. One afternoon, while moving from compartment to compartment, he noticed a sharply dressed man sitting calmly by the window. The man looked wealthy and confident. The poor man thought, if I ask him, maybe I'll get more than usual. He walked up and requested some help. The well-dressed man looked at him carefully and said, "You always ask from others, but have you ever given anything to anyone?" The poor man was confused. "Sir, I'm just a beggar. I barely have anything for myself. What could I possibly give?" The man replied firmly, "If you don't give, you don't truly deserve to receive. Life works on exchange. Bring me something of value, and I'll give you something in return." With that, the man boarded the train and left. Those words stayed in the poor man's mind. He kept thinking, maybe that's why nothing ever changes. I only take, I never give. But then another thought troubled him. What can someone like me even offer? For 2 days, he couldn't find an answer. On the third day, while sitting near the station, he noticed small wildflowers growing beside the tracks. Suddenly, an idea sparked. What if I give these flowers in return? The next time he asked for money, he handed a flower to each person who helped him. People were surprised, but they smiled. Some even appreciated the gesture more than the money itself. From that day on, he made it a habit. Every morning, he collected fresh flowers and shared them with anyone who gave him something. Soon, something changed. More people began to notice him. More people gave him money. And whenever he didn't have flowers, the response dropped again. One day, on a train, he saw that same well-dressed man again. This time, the poor man approached confidently and said, "Today, I have something to offer. If you help me, I will give you these flowers in return." The man smiled, handed him some money, and accepted the flowers. "Well done," he said. "You've learned the first rule of success." That moment changed everything. The poor man stepped off the train, looked up, and said to himself, "I'm not just a beggar. I can create value. I can grow." People around him thought he was acting strange, but inside, something had shifted. 6 months later, at the same station, 2 well-dressed men crossed paths. One of them smiled and asked, "Do you recognize me?" The other shook his head. The first man laughed softly and said, "We've met before, more than once. I was the man who used to beg here." The second man was shocked. "The same person. But now you look completely different." The first man replied, "Yes, because I changed how I see myself. Today, I run a flower business. I travel city to city for work." He continued, "You taught me something powerful that day. We receive only when we give. I realized people weren't just helping me out of pity. They were responding to value. I started small, reinvested what I earned, and slowly built something bigger." The 2 men smiled and continued on their journeys.
The lesson we learn.
We often limit ourselves by how we see our own worth. When we believe we have nothing to offer, the world reflects that back to us. But the moment we start giving, whether it's effort, kindness, or value, things begin to shift. Success isn't just about taking opportunities. It's about creating them. And sometimes, the biggest change doesn't happen outside. It starts with how you see yourself inside.